Just as an introduction, again, this is Rabbi Shlomo first. I'm temporarily substituting for Rabbi Levitt, and we're learning Gemora and Bava Basra here in Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi, Daf Mem, Vav Amid Beis. Okay, Roy, you'd like to begin?
Just one further comment.
Yes.
The fact that I never learned this before, and I was able to figure it out, I see both sides, indicates that the rabbis who are teaching me are doing a good job.
Thank you.
So to say, thank you.
You are getting Siyata D'Shmaya.
Well, because I'm not a youngster. When I learned Gemora at 13, I had a cleaner parchment, and I'm past 13. Okay.
So where am I start from part one?
Where do you suggest yourself? Where's most beneficial place? Okay, so that's the fifth line up from the bottom, the last word on the fifth line, Aika?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yes.
5 lines up from the bottom, the last word on the line is Ika, the Amr.
Is that okay with you, Aaron?
Yes, that's fine.
Ika the Amare. Some say Af al Gav, the Kadim, Tavei, Alaval, Torah, Tehila. Even if the damaged party went ahead and demanded payment from the cow's owner first,
Ika means that some say this. Some say we do it this way.
The Gemora is, you should know that, as you probably do know, the Gemora is a compilation of various different statements that were made by the Tanoim and Amoraim. And they were not always said in the same base medrash, in the same yeshiva. So sometimes the same topics were discussed, but in a different, with a different approach. And therefore they were transcribed according to the way they were originally discussed. So you have one way of discussion that follow this train of thought, and Ikad Amre, there are those that say that the same discussion was approached with a different beginning, and therefore, even though we reach the same conclusion, right, the train of thought of the Gemora is a bit different than the original approach we took at the very beginning.
Aren't we acknowledging that there are two trains of thought?
No, there are many. Well, yeah, as Roy says, there are many trains of thought.
Okay, so I'm not saying this is a unanimous opinion that the owner of the cow should be.
Well, we'll have to see what the conclusion is. But the Gemara is pretty. When you see an Ikeda Amre, that's a signal for you that we're going to be discussing the same topic, but it's going to be presented in perhaps a different way.
So even if the damaged party went ahead and demanded payment from the cow's owner first, let's say. Madachei lay, the cow's owner can deflect him, Tamarei lay, for he can tell him, Madei Yadai, and in brackets Eina, close the brackets, Teshutafo, is lay. I know that I have a partner and in liability, and I'm responsible for only 1/4 of the damages.
So how is this? How is this? Afalgav didaki tiboy para tehila, right? Even though that the kadim tiboy lebal para tehila, even though that the one who's complaining, who's making the claim. The claimant is claiming against the Baal Para Tehila. The claimant is claiming against the owner of the Para first. Matzi, who's Matzi? The Baal Para, right? He's able. Matzi is able. Matrile, he's able to push him off, deflect his claim. The Amalei, he can say to the claimant, right? Yada. Easily. He says, how do you know?
That I know that I have one.
Well, so like, how do you know that I'm the one that you can rightfully take the money from? I have a partner. The Shufas easily. I have a partner. Right? So perhaps he is the person that's obligated to pay you.
Is that a valid argument? Would you say, I have a partner? Now, a partner means that I'm partially responsible and he's partially responsible. To me, that's what partnership is.
Well,
Here we're saying it differently. He said, no, I'm pushing it off. It's not me. It's the owner of the calf. He's the one who's responsible. So what does that shitfah mean?
so because of your question, Rashi makes a comment. We'll take a look at the Rashi. Excuse me. Rashi, Rashi makes a comment because of Aaron's question. Rashi understands that this question would be asked over almost 1,000 years later. So it's true.
No, I think they asked it at Rashi's time too. It did take 1,000 years.
Okay. If you prefer.
Okay. You give me too much credit.
No, if you like. That's my job, and your job is not to take the
My
credit.
wife would say, don't take the credit.
Thank you. Right. Thank you. Good. Who'd like to read the Rashi? It says that that's about 6 lines up from the, or 5 or 6 lines up.
I'm the one who brought a question that Rashi read. Yeah, but by the way, when you learn something today, and you find out that Rashi brought up the same question, that's a very satisfying situation. That's a geschmack, which is Yiddish for geschmack. Delight. That's the delight of learning when you say, hey, I'm not Rashi, I'm not at that level. And he answers a question I'm in, to me it's delight.
It's true. There's nothing like it. You don't find anything like that. No one in the realm of physics is going to come, Lahadil is going to come up and say, wow, I thought of Newton's law. They just taught Newton's law, and that's it.
In other words, the apple that fell, I knew that apple, huh? We never did that, right?
So Rashi actually, this is Rashi going a bit to the previous, but Rashi's explaining what's the point here. Rashi says, guilty daite is shufa istai. You revealed your intentions that I have a partner here. What's the point about being a partner? Rashi explains what's the point about having a partner. Yeah.
Right there. Acknowledging the revealing that I have a partner. So, how does that sound to you? So, could you join my work?
With the acknowledgement that there's a partner, so the claim can't be made in full to one of the individual partners. It has to be shared amongst them both.
And I assume that's what it is.
Yeah.
If you can prove that both people are responsible to some degree, then the best thing has to decide, well, I have to make it simple. The cow weighs 200 pounds and the car weighs 50 pounds. If it's 250, so the cow is 80% of the weight that caused the damage, so let's make it simple. So 80% of the nezek could be from the cow's strength, and 20% from the car. And that's up to the business to say.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
It seems to me that the way you say what you're saying here is that someone's trying to conceal something.
Yeah, how's that? What does it say there?
It seems to be that, I don't know, I'm not too sure, I just get the feeling that one of the parties is
Trying to hide his liability, maybe?
what?
Trying to hide his bias, his liability?
I don't, yes, that's probably, I don't know. You have revealed your opinion that I have a partner.
Mm-hmm.
And Rashi in the Gemora feels that's a very strong case. So that's why they want to go after the partner. That's what causes me a problem.
Or, I mean,
It sounds like you're showing your hand.
Right.
Which means that his hand was meant to be concealed first.
Well, usually when you defend yourself, you don't want to give away any negative facts.
Well, what's the point?
this is a type of admission, according to this, what Rashi is telling us, it's a type of admission that you're admitting that there's joint responsibility here. don't try and claim a full responsibility against me when you yourself were admitting that there's joint responsibility.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not really, someone's not really trying to hide something.
Well, admitting the fact, is it full, joint, partial? I don't think he's hiding anything. He just doesn't want to give away something that will weaken his position. He wants to strengthen his position.
But it would have been revealed anyway in the court, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean,
Investigation, yes.
Right, but in terms of, see, a lot of what's, when you would see, that's the point of Bori V'Shem, or Boriitis. When you have Bori V'Bori, or Shema V'Shem, or you have the middle case of Bori V'Shema, these are cases where you're dealing more or less, to the most part, the claims that are being made. Meaning the base is going to have to decide the case based on the claims, not any specific evidence. Because again, we don't, in terms of our Mishnah, we don't have evidence as to whether or not the Vlad was there before or after. Right? So we don't have that evidence. That's evidence not going to be revealed. Right? So therefore, these are decisions that are going to be made by the base based upon what we call koach hatayna, the strength of the claim that's being made. Shalom, Rabbi Levitt. We are about to hand it over to you.
Okay.
Amen, Be'ez Hashem. So you continue with the Gemora.
Rabbi, I did my homework. I spoke to a very chashuv law firm where my son works. And my son who learned in Scranton Yeshiva for a few years said he learned this Gemora. And I explained the Bori V'Shema, the Gemora, and he says this law firm does not have any opinion. They do a lot of legal work, but they're not a So he just backed off. But I said, well, the Rebbe asked me to check. The Rebbe asked me to check, and I checked. So I just want to show you that I did I enjoyed it. And also to share it with your Bachar and to see that you're learning and this is the question, and that was also a very satisfying situation.
Baruch Hashem. Very nice. Yeshe Koyach, Aaron.
Thank you.
And Roy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And this is my last day until I come back.
Just wanted to ask you,
Just this Simon, the borough.
Are you looking forward to the trip? Looking forward to the plane ride?
No, it's just a step. But I have a big event. I'm involved with the area in my community called Kew Gardens for 40 years. And I spoke to a few people who were involved. I said we should celebrate. For 40 years we have a very strong Arab and everybody supports it and we pay our bills. So we're putting together a brunch on June 17th. And Rabbi Pesach Stone, who is he writes the Maggid series of books, he's going to be a guest speaker. There's a Rabbi Daniel Gladstein, he's number 1 or 2 on the internet. He's going to give our Torah. I'm the chairman of the event, and there was so many different.
You're the chairman.
Yes. There were so many different details, and I was going to have it out in a garden of a very beautiful, a new shul, and what a mansion, and they have a beautiful backyard. So let's do it outside. The negative people said, well, what if it rains? So we'll do it inside. What if it's going to be hot? I said, maybe we'll put up a tarpaulin. No, go to another facility which is not so nice and do it there. Somebody negotiated. This other facility which usually charges a lot of money. They said, oh, the Arab is a community tzedakah, we'll give it to you without any cost. But it wasn't a very attractive place.
Oh no.
The word I used is lugubrious. It's the gym of the big shul, and so I said, you know what? I'll have somebody in charge of the flowers. So since they're not charging anything, we'll spend $100 on flowers to make it look nice. and that I don't have to worry about rain, shine, and things like that. So, so
It should go well.
It's not to Shem.
So what happens, here I'm in Eretz Israel learning Torah, and I have all these details back in the old country. So that, oh, this is another Indian. The person who put together the mailing list of every single shul town says, nobody will respond to, make a reservation. Nobody's going to respond. Nobody responds anymore. And this is the guy's shita. And she says to send it out a week before. I want to send it out 2.5 weeks so they could respond. And if he can't come, there's an envelope, you can send a check. So it took a little negotiations to get this person. I had to acknowledge that he did a great job. Do you know, if you come to the shul and you say, give us your mailing list, and you go to 5 shuls, most shuls will not give out their mailing list. To them it's a hegdish.
Right.
In fact, the new Sephardi Bukharian shul said, we'll send out by ourselves 250 invitations, and I didn't know it was that they.
Yeah.
It was a Iranian shul for about 20 years in Kulan. All the Iranians moved to Great Neck, which was a fancier neighborhood.
Fancier neighborhood, yeah. I know.
Maybe there's more Bukhris. I'm just kidding. And this shul paid the Iranians $12 million for their vineyard. And the Bukharian Jews are very good businessmen. So they have the highest level of bitachon. They buy a building for 500,000, they fix it up and they sell it for 700,000. And they've been successful making a lot of money. Maybe our Ashkenazis were not as good businessmen. They spent $12 million and turning into the shul and also into a yeshiva. And I daven every day with another competition. It's not competition. They have 20 families of Bukharian Jews, but it's 3 houses away from where I live.
Oh.
So my wife said, yeah, it's convenient, you're lazy. Instead of walking 3 blocks, you can go 3 houses. I could give you a long drasha. Why should I be walking and you'll be getting exercise? My wife says it's very healthy at your stage in life. If I could get to the shul. And also,
let's just read it over quickly. Amar Abaye. Abaye says, Chatzi Nezik. He's going to explain what does it mean, Chatzi Nezik. Chatzi Nezik really means Echad Me'arba Menezik. It really means 1/4 of the total damages. That's what the owner of the para is going to pay. And Ravia Nezik means Echad Bishmona Benezik. He's going to, the owner of the
I 1/8.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting all mixed up. Abaye said, 1/8. So he got 1/4 of the total damages and 1/8 of the total damages. So that only makes 3/8 of the total damages. It's less than 1/2 damages. Less than Chatzi Nezik. So the Gemora says, Ipara Ovlad Echad Ninu. They both belong to the same owner, both the para and the calf. Certainly, he could say to the guy, to the owner, whichever way the thing happened, whether it was born before, was born after, what difference does it make? Chatzi Nezik Havli, give me Chatzi Nezik, because you own both the calf as well as the cow. Ella, says the Gemora, we must say that what?
He sold the cow without the blood.
Right. That's what Rashi says. He sold the cow exclusive of the fetus. And so therefore, the fetus is owned by one person and the cow is owned by someone else.
Minor question. The fetus is not lo ba'olam. Can you sell something that is not in existence yet? It's not a real calf yet until it's born. Does that have any difficulties.
Well, if
The Gemara says
what's being sold over here? Think carefully about what the sale was.
he's the calf. He's selling the calf. That's the way I look at it.
Is that true? Think about it again. Think about it again.
He's saying he's
Reuben owns the calf, and Reuben owns a pregnant calf, right? What's he selling to Shimon?
Pregnant cow. Who owns a pregnant cow?
Right, pregnant cow. Reuben's selling a pregnant cow to Shimon.
No.
And he's keeping to himself, right?
No.
Chutz mea uber. So is the uber being sold?
No.
No. What's being sold?
The cow.
Only the calf. So is there a problem of davar shel bo l'olam?
He's only selling the cow, but not the uber.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That answers my question. Thank you.
Okay. Good. So now now that the uber is born, and we're wondering whether that newborn calf was part of the damage or not.
I mean, mentioned yesterday, it doesn't matter if the newborn calf is dead or alive. Because that is not. We said it wasn't relevant. The newborn calf is still alive.
Right.
Because when the damage was done, it was an over. It was in the mother.
Right. On the side that it was.
Yeah.
If it was, then he's going to have to share in the liability. If he was already born, then he wouldn't have to share in the liability because his calf did nothing.
How does business decide?
So what's happening over here in this din? We're splitting it down the middle. That's what it looks like.
So since we
The para is paying the half. Chatzi Nezek is coming out from the para. The owner of the para is going to have to pay Chatzi Nezek, and the owner of the calf is going to have to pay Revita Nezek. We're still in the middle of trying to figure out what that means, though.
because the math doesn't work out.
Math doesn't work out.
Either it's going to be 600 or 300.
Right.
And the Chatzi Nezek is only 400.
Right. So let's see what the Gemora says over here now. So, but this much we got. We got that there's two different defendants over here.
Mm-hmm.
The owner of the para and the owner of the calf. So now the Gemora says like this: Ida kadem tave lebalapara tchila. If what's the case of the Mishnah talking about? Are we talking that the injured party initially went and made his claim against? Right, he has two defendants to make a case against.
Mm-hmm.
Two possible defendants. So, if we say that we're talking about that he initially made his claim against the owner of the cow, right? That's what it means. Ida kadam tave lebala para tchila. So then says the Gemora, Hachanami the Amalei. Surely, he could say to him, the balapara, he could say to the balapara, Paradidach aziktan.
Your cow caused the damage.
Your cow definitely caused damage to my shore. There's no doubt about that. And therefore, Chavli Raya to Islach Shutafi. Since I've carried my burden of proof that your animal definitely damaged my animal and caused damage, I've carried my burden of proof. Now it's up to you to carry the burden of proof that he had a shutuf. You hear? That's what the Gemora is saying. Havli Raya, the injured party is saying to the owner of the cow, you now have to bring a proof that you have a shutuf. meaning that the calf was still inside the mother, and that he was the participant in the goring, and he contributed to the damage of my animal. You have to prove that. If you cannot prove that, so then you will have to pay the entire Chatzinezek.
But now it falls in place. That explanation makes it more logical.
Okay.
But if you can't prove it, then that's, so you split it down the middle?
If he can't prove, if the cow, the owner of the cow, if the owner of the cow cannot prove this, so how much will the owner of the cow have to pay?
The Chatzinezek?
Well, right. Exactly. He'll have to pay the whole Chatzinezek. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Agreed, Roy? Okay. So now, but the Mishnah doesn't say that, though. The Mishnah says that the owner of the calf pays Revi'ah Nezik. Something called Revi'ah Nezik. We don't know what it means yet. So let's go further. Says the Gemora, Ella.
What line are you on?
What line are we on? Good question. See where we're on? It's the first word of the line is Labal, Hara. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines up. So now we say Ella. So for some reason the Gemora, I don't know if the Gemora is rejecting that view, because it doesn't work out in the Mishnah. For some reason the Gemora is saying Ella. And Ella generally means that we're rejecting something. Or we're just pointing out that there's a difficulty with what was said. Ella, so what do we need to say, perhaps, that we're not talking about that case? So let's talk about the other way around. What's the other possibility? The other possibility is the Kodem Tave Lebal V'lat Tefillah. We have two logical possibilities. Either he made his claim, the injured party, against the cow first, and we said, this is what's going to come out according to that. Well, okay. Ella, so what do we say? We don't like that. So we say, let's look at it the other way around. Let's say, on the other hand, if we look at it, that he made his claim against the Bala Vlad first, Tchila, so then, what's going to happen? And this is the whole issue over here. The Amar Lei Golis Adaitach the Shutafa Isli.
You're acknowledging?
Yes. You have revealed Galis. You have revealed Adaitach. You revealed your mindset. The Shutafa Isli, that I have a Shutaf.